Good morning. It is cloudy. Of course it is. The husband comes home this weekend. He always brings that little cloud of doom. It's going to rain today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Maybe not Sunday. Sucks. Yep. Anyhow, it is 76 degrees and it feels really good outside. There's a nice breeze. And man, how I wish I was at the park right now. And it is 10:02. My appointment is in 15 minutes. So I thought I would use this time to talk a little bit because my son, the child, is going into work early and getting out early. So that's good. I don't have to be out at night. And by the way, the yellow light, it was doing its thing, but then last night when I came in, right at the doorway by the wall, there was a beetle. Little June beetles. And I was like, wonderful. So I squished it with my shoe and then I came in. You all, I just hate bugs. Anyway, let me catch you up what I wanted to say last night about one of my favorite YouTubers that I've been watching, that I agree with most of the time, but not all of the time. And I've shared his lives on some of my posts or recordings, Anyhow, he was talking about something about women, and I can't tell you exactly because I have short-term memory. But he said, if that woman were to invite me over, a woman like that, I would be laying pipe. And I was like, sorry, and I'm trigger word for everybody. I hate that term, laying pipe. I hate it. Now, I know some people talk like that. To me, that just sounds so disgusting. And I'm like, sir, you are a married man. What happened to women should do this and that? And but yet, what about you? What about men? The same rules don't apply to men? Like, you shouldn't be talking like that. You shouldn't be disrespecting your wife. I would have a fit if my husband were to say that on his live. He doesn't have a YouTube channel, by the way. He doesn't do lives, or I'd be over there. But I would be very upset if he were to be like, oh, I would lay pipe, or I would hit that. Excuse me, sir? Excuse me? I don't think so, mister. Like, where the hell do you get off talking like that? I just hate that talk. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Otherwise, I do like this YouTuber. But no, not like that. Not if you're willing to say that, disrespect your wife. No, that's where you lost me. So anyhow, don't be part of the Communitaye, sir. You use that word a lot. Communitaye. Yeah, you're starting to sound like you're part of the Communitaye. Anyway, so you all remember when I was leaving my apartment and I said, I thought that was a white car and it's actually a police officer. You know how they drive those little Ford SUVs and stuff? It was a police officer, of course. I saw it with my own eyes, and I was trying to show you all with my camera, but it wouldn't catch it because my tint from the back, you couldn't see it really well. And then he wasn't completely pulled into the parking spot, but anyway, I was telling my son about it on the way home, and I said, I bet he's going to be gone by the time we get there. Sure enough, he was gone. So then I said, well, who would know what happened? Guess who would know? You know who? The neighbor. So here I am. Get some hand cream. Here I am texting her like, hey, did you know that the police was here? Like, I wonder why, I saw them as I was leaving, but I'm back now and they're gone. And I also texted my son, my other son, and his girlfriend, fiance, wife, to see maybe if they knew. Well, they didn't know, but of course, my neighbor knew. And boy, am I going to miss her when she's gone, because she keeps on top of everything, even though it gets on my nerves, but she knows everything. So anyhow, she says, yes. Okay, in my video, I was talking about how it was another neighbor, and I called him D. And he likes to walk around the complex on his phone. And let me turn this down. And he makes my Ring camera go off. But I mean, I feel safe. Remember I said that? I feel safe with him walking around because I usually shower with my bathroom door open so that my cat doesn't panic, because she's like that. She doesn't like to be alone in a room and it's quiet. So, and I have a lot of trouble when I leave to pick up my son too, leaving her by herself, because she's like looking at me like, where are you going? Why are you leaving me by myself? But I leave the TV on for her and everything. So, and the lights are on too. So anyhow, I saw that he was outside walking and I said, oh, okay, it's just D. That's cool. So I didn't think anything of it, right? I never do. Sometimes he does that when my son gets home early too. Like when I pick him up, my Ring camera's going off and it's him, and all I do is just turn the notifications off for a little while, like 30 minutes. And if he's still walking around, I'll turn it off for another 30 minutes or even 2 hours before I go to sleep, because once I fall asleep, I turn my ringer down on my phone. I won't hear anything anymore unless I'm starting to wake up, and then I'll hear it, right? But I usually fall asleep to that, and I'll fall asleep to somebody's live or a replay or something. So anyhow, well, it turns out from my neighbor, she said that the other neighbors that park next to me, she kept saying, the ones that park in front of you. And I never figured out, like, oh, she means the ones next to me. I don't know how she got in front from there, but to me, in front would be like in front of my apartment, you know, like not in front, like as in beside me. And she says, they're the ones that called the police on D because they were complaining that he was making their camera go off. And I was like, what the F? They couldn't turn their camera off, their notifications off? That's what I do, you know? And she's like, I don't know, but I feel so bad for him that they called the police on him. And he said that he told the officer, like, this is a sidewalk, it's free for everybody to walk on. And I was like, well, he's not wrong. I said he has a right to walk around the complex. They don't own this complex. They don't shut down people here. They don't tell everybody, hey, lights out at a certain time, or no, you cannot walk around after a certain time. That's so wrong. I said, I hope the police told them, like, take it up with the landlord. You know, this isn't an emergency matter. I thought somebody was trying to break in your door, sir. Like, this is not an emergency. And you can adjust your notifications on your camera. I don't know what the police officer told them. But then I remember and I say, hey, wait a minute, neighbor. What about those times that man walks around in front of my apartment from 1 o'clock to 4 a.m., okay? 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. He's walking in front of my apartment in his pajamas on his phone, making my camera go off, and then he doesn't even walk all the way through. He stops right in front of my door and then makes a U-turn and goes back to his apartment. That's weird for me, for one. And secondly, he's giving me pervert vibes. Why is he walking around in his pajamas? You know, and coming up to my door. I could as easily say, like, hey, I'm going to call the cops too. I fear for my safety. This neighbor over here is walking in his pajamas in front of my door. But, anyhow, I was like, I told her this, right? And she's like, yeah, it just proves that they're hypocrites. And I said, and furthermore, his wife, also, New Year's Day, I won't forget it, of this year, I was running late to go pick up a pizza at Domino's, actually 2 pizzas at Domino's, and she was outside my door, and she was already trying to get water from my faucet. Now, the apartments do not include water, so it's not like it's water for all. We pay for the water in our own unit. Everybody does. to go up to somebody's unit and take water from their faucet. That's like stealing if you want to get technical. But I'm not a Karen, okay? I just looked at her and she's like, oh, can I get some water? It's because my car's overheating. I'm like, sure, go ahead. I'm on my way out. I'll be back later anyway. And by the time I got back, she was already gone. But I'm like, why didn't she knock on my door and ask me? What gives her the right to just go up to my faucet and take my water that I'm paying for? Why couldn't she go back to her apartment and get the water? Right? I mean, if they want to be dicks about everything, I can be one too. So anyway, I just said, man, I wish I would have known that's what the police were there for. Because I would have told the police officer, like, hey, sir, he's a fine one to complain. He has stood at my door between these hours in the early morning in his pajamas. Now, that freaks me out. But because he lives here and I know that he's a neighbor, I don't call you all. But the nerve for him to call you all on his next door neighbor, because the neighbor is not even doing anything wrong. He is on the phone walking back and forth. You know, and more importantly, you can turn the notifications off on the camera. And I'm going to tell him, I would have told him also, I said, I'm pretty sure that you all have better emergencies to take care of. There could be somebody across town that's needing your help right now. And this man calls you because somebody's making his camera go off. It's ridiculous to me. But if you can let him know that he's also guilty of the same thing and that I don't like it. If I would have known, man, I would have told the police officer that. That is so lame. That is so lame. But if that man ever calls a police officer on me or anybody else there, I will make it an effort to let them know. I will come out and try to find out what's going on and let them know. The only reason I didn't do it last night is because I thought they were there for the apartment in front of them. And I thought maybe they were visiting somebody because they left the car on. The door was partially closed. You know, and I thought, oh, well, maybe they just came to pick up somebody from a friend around here or something, you know, or something, you know. I didn't think about, oh, they're here because somebody's walking around on the sidewalk. Okay, speaking of Communitays, that's the Communitaye there where I live. Anyhow, I gotta go. It's already 10:14. The girl next to me is like talking on the phone also. I love you all. You all enjoy your Tuesday. Hope you're not getting rained. I hope you have better weather. No snow either. No tornadoes. Prayers if you are going through that. Thank you for listening. Bye.